Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome to another behind-the-scenes video. Today I am designing a fast food restaurant for my lovely world. This is the very early stages of that, so I just like the idea of playing with the word fast food. So fast food normally means like food that you get given quickly. I like the idea of having literally fast food, so food which travels fast. So let me get some food. We get some lovely rabbit stew here and throw this down here. So if I go and straight into this, by the way, no messing around. If I go and press the button, the food goes fast. That was some fast food, you could say. I've also been playing around with the idea of then launching it up on the other side. So, oh, okay, I just accidentally picked it up. But you understand the way this would go. I press the button and then woo! Yeah, so that's kind of what my idea is right now. It's a bit of a weird one because I need it to fit in the area where all of the restaurants are. One, because that's the area where the restaurants are, and this is a restaurant. Also, just narratively in my lovely world, this place is going to be linked with a dramatic event that is going to happen in my lovely world. I don't want to say too bad of a spoiler, but I mean, dramatic events in my lovely world, you know, there's a common theme with what causes dramatic events. And so this needs to have a redstone in it to do with that. It also needs to be in the right place, and kind of the way that it's built needs to kind of fit into that. So there's a few more considerations, nothing too major, that I need to consider when designing it. But yeah, I'm literally just playing around with the idea of this being kind of the main thing, the fact that the food flies across the area. So I don't know if this is going to be on the floor. Like, is there going to be an equivalent of like a drive-through? I think could be quite funny. Maybe I could like show up with Harry and go through the drive-through. I think might be a fun moment for me to do as well. So the only thing similar to this that I've done is my snack on track restaurant, which isn't fast food. The idea of that was it's kind of like a diner where they would be going around on rollerblades, but instead of rollerblades or roller skates, they have minecart tracks. So I don't really want to use minecarts in this because I've already done that. So yeah, this is kind of the start of the idea. I haven't started really kind of thinking about it beyond what I've just told you now. I just always like to bring you in at the very early stages of designing these things so you can see it from the beginning all the way to the end. So yeah, let me as always go and cut ahead until things have gone a little bit further. Okay, I did some playing around and I realized that I don't know, like, because my first thought was, this is what I was thinking of, kind of like a vending machine where you'd walk in, you'd say there's a button down here with an apple next to it as my example, and I'd say, right, I want the apple, I press it, and then an apple comes flying forward towards me, which would be cool. It'd be fine. That's an interesting way and a play on the word fast food. Fine. Tick the box. That's fine. Then I thought that's a bit boring, actually. So I had the idea of maybe the food goes for a bit of a journey. So the food would be traveling fast, but you wouldn't necessarily get it fast. So what if, instead of that, the apple started up here and I was down here? You can probably see where this is going. And if I press the button, instead of just flying towards me, the apple will go and fly across and land down there. And then it will fire across and land down on this side. And then fire across and land down on this side, and then finally go and fire across and just, I don't know, at the moment it just lands down there on a patch of redstone, but I could make that go wherever I want, and we kind of make it, I guess, more of a show of food, because imagine that, but with like a bunch of different food. Let me go grab some more food. I haven't like tested this out properly like this, but or let me go and throw in a button somewhere so I can do this from up here. If I throw in a button down here, this should work. So let's say the apple goes. I'm gonna have to kind of do this manually quickly myself. That goes, that mutton goes, and then I think this is rabbit. The rabbit goes, and let's go down and see if we can watch it. So there's just food flying around everywhere. So everywhere you look, there's just food just kind of getting launched all over the place. I think that's quite a fun way to have a food delivery. And the restaurant that I've done is so simple. Basically, this little button sets off both this first piston and then sets a trail to the next piston, which sets a trail to a next piston. And all you need to do is just use the right amount of repeaters to get the timing so that, you know, the piston doesn't go too far so that it gets blocked, or if it goes too slow and it's kind of a bit boring because it's waiting there for a bit. So it's really easy, and I could do that, you know, infinitely going down. The only thing I need to work out is there is like a limit to how far away you can. That was a silly idea, wasn't it? Let's put the apple down here. Yeah, there's a limit to how far away you can be to see items on the ground. So as it is there, it's fine. I don't know, actually, I can see. Okay, so as I've got to this back wall, there's the limit there. So it's going to be like the same going up and down. So I think I wouldn't start it out much higher than this, but I could do it so the trails go all the way maybe down to ground level, and then it ends kind of the way this one was and being, you know, fired to you. And I don't know if I'm going to have like seats in this place. It might just be like a counter. I do like the idea of like the vending machine idea where you go and choose a meal. It could, if we get fancy, remember I did want to use Polly in this video, I could do it a case like you choose a meal. So rather than saying I want an apple, you could say I want a fruit salad. And when you press the fruit salad, you get, oh, it's just melons and apples really, isn't it? There's not, is there any other fruit? I don't think there is. Okay, so say if I say I want a fruit salad, then I'll get like a melon and an apple will come out. Say if I say I want a vegetable salad, oh, great fast food restaurant this is with just vegetable and fruit salads. But yeah, let's say if I say I want that, then I guess I could get a beetroot and I don't know, we could pack a pumpkin pie into that as well. And so all of these items come out, but at gradual intervals. I mean, it'd be an ordeal to build it in video, but imagine if like the carrot goes and then the pumpkin pie goes and then the beetroot goes, you know, and you just see the different parts of your meal flying down and then they all just land in front of you. That would be fun. That would be a fun way to do a restaurant. So I'm going to have to work that out. So before thinking too much in terms of all of these pistons going everywhere, I'm going to need to work out a way to do that to get the timing right. I don't think it would be undoable. The only thing is if you're using the same food for different meals, it would be nice to have them coming out the same droppers. So maybe I'm just going to have one of like 3 different meals. I mean, there's not much choice for food in Minecraft anyway, so I think that would be fine. Then maybe like, yeah, maybe it could be the things I said, and then maybe the last one could be like a dessert. There could be like a cake and a cookie could come out maybe as like the dessert. So yeah, let me go and see how possible of an idea that would be. But I think that would be cool. So right, I'm going to have to go to redstone mode. Wish me luck, everyone. Wish me luck. Okay, I've had a bit of a change of plan. I've decided not to do it all completely automated like a vending machine. It could be done, but it's just not worth it. For like the amount of space the redstone would take up and how difficult it would be to build in a video and how few people would actually build it themselves, it's not worth it. So I've scrapped this idea and I moved to the idea of kind of like the person working behind the counter, kind of throwing in the food. So say if someone says, I want a fish salad, let's say. I don't know why it's just a salad fast food restaurant, I guess now. So I'll just go and throw in all of the fish into here, like that. And then I'd press this, it would fire it out, and then, oh, I don't know. I don't think I've done this redstone. And then fire it up. So this is me just working out how high it gets fired up. So that was the idea. So this would fire it up to where the conveyor belt is, and then it would make its merry way down. Of course, it's ridiculous because say if I'm here behind the counter and they're there, they're like, I want fish. And I'm like, yes, let me give you your fish. Instead of throwing it to them, I'm like sending it on this whole journey. I know it doesn't make any sense, but I think it's quite funny. And who knows, maybe food tastes better once it's flown around really fast around the ceiling. Who knows? So I've kind of, oh gosh, it's getting messy already. Look at the redstone. I've started working out a little bit how this would work. So the tricky thing is that I need it to be caught. So what I need to have happen is the food will be fired out of here, launched up, all after only pressing one button. Then this piston needs to extend out. This one then needs to extend out a bit after to launch it, then this one gets pulled back. Because one of the difficult things is, say if this wasn't, if this was here like that and this extended out, it would stay extended out, well, the slime would, because it needs to be obsidian, otherwise it's just going to stick to whatever it's on. In the same way as if this one was out, that block would get stuck there. So the timing needs to be perfect where this one comes out, this one goes and gets fired out, and then this one gets pulled back, and then, yeah, it just all needs to work out correctly, I guess, is a way to put it. And I think I pretty much got it working, so let's test it with the pufferfish. I press that. It will go and get fired up. It gets put across. That fires it out, and then that one gets pulled back. And then this pufferfish is going to go on its merry little journey around the top up here like this, and then make its way back in. So you can kind of see what the redstone's doing. This button is, so the button automatically sets off the dropper because it's next to it. This redstone sets off this piston here with a slight delay, obviously, because otherwise, the piston would fire too soon. Once again, a bit of a delay leading it to this one, and then a bit of a further delay leading it to that one there. And that's just going to take some jiggery and pokery and just working it all out when I go to do it in my lovely world, assuming that I do stick with this idea. And I think I will. I think this is a lovely idea. I like it. I think this works out really, really well. I want to start thinking about this actual restaurant, though, because obviously, like, this part doesn't... So, I need to think about this because imagine, like, say the door is... Bear with me here. I'm thinking and building. So, let's say the front door to this place is here and you walk in. Imagine there's walls and then there's, like, a counter across, like, the floor here somewhere. Let's just imagine. The problem is for this to work, it needs to start in the corner because something I didn't really mention is this needs to be exactly 18 blocks long because if it's any longer, then it goes too slow and doesn't land in the middle here. If it's any shorter, then it goes firing over the other side. I'm sure that maybe 17 and 19 might work all right, but 18 is the magic number. So it really needs to launch from this corner here. So say if this counter's here and I'm throwing everything into a hopper, I need it to get to over there, I guess. And is there a nice way to do that? That's going to be the tricky thing. Or maybe it is all just in the corner down there or something. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I need to work out. So normally I wouldn't think too much about specific layout parts like that. But because it ties in so much to the mechanics of what we're doing here, I think I'm going to go and try and work out some of that stuff yet. And I think once I have the rough shape of all of this, the shape of the restaurant itself is probably going to start kind of revealing itself to me. Because I need to have quite big walls to cover up all of the redstone. And I do want it to be quite big anyway, because the area I'm thinking of building it is 27 blocks long, which is quite long. Like the average size of one of my buildings is 17 blocks, so it's like an extra 10 blocks. So the fact that this place is quite big is going to work out quite well. So yeah, let me go and dig in a little bit deeper. But I think the main special twist, I guess, of this restaurant is already this, and I just need to kind of fine tune it and work out what the rest is going to look like now. Okay, I think I've worked out kind of the delivery system, I guess. So this is what I was thinking of. The counter could be kind of like in this corner here, because I first had the idea of like having a big wall going across the middle and then having like all the redstone behind it. But I feel like the room has to be completely open, or as open as it can be, because I really want you just to be able to stand in the middle of the room and just see all of the food flying around you. So I had the idea of maybe the counter is only in this corner. The rest of the room could just be like tables and chairs and I don't know, anything else that I think to build inside of there. So everything would be launched here. The food would go and make its way around, and then it would get to here and then get launched into the middle of the room. So maybe like there could be a point on the floor down here where I say like, right, stand on this block and then your food will arrive to you soon. So let's see how accurate that is. Let me just go and give you an example, because it works. This is not just an example just to look at. It does work. Something I've noticed that this isn't always 100% consistent. I'd say 9 times out of 10 it works, but every now and then it just doesn't. I don't know if that's because of lag or just the randomness of how blocks fly around and stuff, but yeah, it doesn't always entirely work at all. I wasn't far off, you know. That is where the block should have been, but not far off. So yeah, that's the way it works. So that's all pretty good. I mean, the redstone, we know it's going to work okay. Of course, I could probably make it a little bit more compact and less messy than it is now. So let's not worry too much about that. So what I did is I built a big box over here. So of course, this isn't me working out what the restaurant is going to look like unless I was trying to build literally the world's most boring website by the fact it's just a big white box. But what it does do is start giving me an opportunity to start working out exactly where these things are going to be. This is always just to kind of get the concept down and work out the basis of the redstone just to make sure it's possible. Now I can start exactly working out, right, where's the counter going to be? You know, how wide is this part of the room going to be? How wide do the walls need to be for me to be able to fit all of the redstone in? So yeah, that's going to be my next big step. So this is kind of like the middle step, I guess. So that's step number 1, getting the main concept, getting it mechanically working as it entirely is. Now I'm going to go and kind of fine tune it a little bit, but this is still all before I've really worked out kind of what the theme of the restaurant's going to be, or in any way what the restaurant is actually going to end up actually looking like. This is still kind of very much the middle step. So yeah, let me go and try and work out a little bit more about these kind of things, and then I'll bring you back in once I've had some more ideas. Okay, just a bit of a quick update to show you how progress in the white room has gone. Here we go! The restaurant's complete. Now I just need to build this in my lovely world. Only joking. So, it works! The redstone works. Let me just show you it working first, and then let me show you how it's going to work. So you can see, let me just show you first just how compact it is. Can you see any redstone? All you can see is really like, I guess, the slime block. Of course, the obsidian at the moment really stands out, just because all the rest of the walls are right. But you can't see any of the redstone. And then down here, this is all we have. This is the starting mechanism. I throw in my cake like this, press the button, and then, please work now. I build it up. There we go. Off the cake goes, down to that one, on to the next one. I could probably speed it up a little bit so these fire a little bit faster than they are. But that's just really easily adjusting some repeaters. And look, this is the best bit. Look at that. Bang in the middle of the table. That is unbelievably satisfying. And num num num, let's go and eat the cake. So, I mean, that works really well, doesn't it? So let me go and show the redstone. It's way, way better than this mess down here. Do you remember all of this stuff? And how awkward that looked like it could have been? Not anymore. So where are we starting from? Where's the right corner? Right, this is the starting bit. So the button is, of course, down there, as you can see. That fires off the dropper. This is where the trail of redstone comes down from. Everywhere starts from here, from this button. Goes around here. A bit of a delay. That's the thing that launches it first up. Goes around the corner all very neatly, might I say. And goes straight up with these torches. The first thing it lights up is this, which is the block that gets pushed out. It's a red block at the moment. Then once again, a little bit of a delay, and then goes around to the one that pushes it forward. And then we've got the same thing again, where it will go along here, and then it will go and set off the next one. There are 7 repeaters to delay it. The only tricky thing was I wanted to keep it 1 block thick, because the easy thing to have done would have been basically what I did last time, and got the redstone and made it kind of go out like this, and then like go and loop around to there. That means that the redstone would have been 2 blocks thick, which I don't want to do. I want to keep it all 1 block thick, just to keep it nice and compact. So instead, this redstone sets off that piston, also sets off this one, which has a redstone block which pushes out to here, which basically just sets the next trail of redstone off to here. It's just a nice, neat way to keep everything nice and compact, and so it's all very, very thin. And then it goes all the way around here to the last one, which goes and launches it down onto the table. So that all works beautifully. It means that there's nothing kind of blocking your vision of all of the food going around. And remember, when we do this, it's not going to be a single bit of food. It will be a meal. So if I go back to the fish example, it will all just work perfectly. I just go and fire that fish. I then would go and throw in another one. That would go and launch that one off. And then, okay, missed that one. But you get the idea. I'd go and launch that one off. And then go and launch this one off. I think we might have a bit of a build-up. But eventually, it will get through them. Like, the good thing is if something... okay, I did them a little bit too fast was the problem. But the good thing is if they do build up down there, like, I don't need to, like, throw them in again. I can just wait for a bit and then go and press the button again. And so that's what the waiter or the chef, I guess, is going to be doing. And then while that's going on, all of the other fish, as you can see, will be flying around the room and being launched onto the table. So at the moment, I've just built a little table down here. I'm not saying that this is how it's going to be. This is basically marking where everywhere is going to land. Of course, there's going to be more than one table in this place. Like, I could do a mechanism where it launches to land on different tables, but I think that's a little bit too much. So this could maybe be just like the collection point, maybe. So yeah. The next thing I'm going to do is going to be the last update I'm probably going to do to the white box, where I'm going to build the walls are probably around the outside. Maybe actually I probably don't need to. It's probably best to keep them open just so I can copy the redstone for the final one. So I'm just going to work out the rest of the details in here, and then I'm going to start brainstorming to try and work out what the restaurant is actually going to end up looking like. What blocks am I going to use? What style is it going to be? How can I avoid it just looking like a giant big box on the outside? It's going to be something that I need to work out. So yeah, I'll cut ahead and then we'll jump back in and I'll do exactly what I just said. Okay, as you can see, I've done a bit of a mock-up for what the outside could look like. I went for purple and yellow. I don't know why, like, I think they just look nice together, and also where I'm building this, there isn't really much of these colors anywhere in the area. And to be fair, I don't think I've really built any purple buildings. Maybe there's something I built somewhere, but I haven't really built certainly anything to this size with these colors. It's hard because the whole thing's supposed to be fast food, but the design basically has to be a giant box just for the way the redstone works. So I've been trying to give the impression of speed, which isn't very easy, but I think this looks quite cool. So of course I kind of went for arrows as the best way to do that, and they kind of poke up. Oh, I'm right against like the limit here, so I can't go any further back. But yeah, you can see they kind of poke up above the roof, which I kind of like the look of that, and then I slope them down on the outside. On the one in the front, I kind of added a purple outline, which I think looks quite nice. I might end up adding that on all of the sides, but it might look okay just having that on the front. And then originally these were just like straight lines going up. And then I thought I could build like a shape here and then do it as if the line continues, but then it like alters and like changes. So it's then purple and then to yellow. I thought that looks interesting. Then I basically do a similar thing on the top here. And then added some little windows as well. There's 5 little windows on the top, which I think just, I don't know, help just add like a bit of depth to it because I did them kind of poking up at the top here. I didn't want it to be a completely flat roof. Also, they add lighting and it will line up pretty well because remember the wall on this side is going to be, let's do it next to a window, is going to be like going down here like that. So it all kind of lines up quite nicely to make the pattern on the ceiling. I haven't began working out what it's going to look like on the inside because of course the ceiling's going to be, you know, it's just going to be this ceiling. But these walls I could change, I could alter. It actually looks pretty nice the way it is. Unfortunately, you know, I am going to have to build new walls in here, but I could kind of do the same pattern. But I feel like why not make the most of it and just do something a little bit different on the inside. So I'm not saying that this is definitely what the outside is going to be like, but I do think it's going to be, if not this, something pretty similar to this. I just don't know if I should add, it just feels like it needs something else, like either another color or just something else to it, maybe like light somewhere or something. I feel like there is something missing from it, but this is a pretty nice place to start from. And this is always when it gets a bit more interesting when I'm actually working out what the thing is going to look like. So for now, I think I'm going to leave this as it is and then begin working out the inside because not only do I need to work out the walls, I also need to work out like what the seating arrangement's going to be, like what is this section here going to be, and then the counter and stuff. I've kind of done a rough mock-up here, but I want to make sure that all fits in, and also where like these bits of obsidian and stuff are, just to make sure all of that stuff fits in as well. So yeah, let me go and start trying to work out that now, and I'll bring you back in and show you what it is that I came up with. Okay, I've done a bit of playing around on the inside. Just show the outside. I did the outlines on all of them. It's just more obvious to be an arrow, especially when you're seeing it like against the sky, as of course most of the time you will be. So I know this definitely isn't going to be how the inside is. I just thought I'd show you kind of what I came up with now. So the flooring I just did, and I like the idea of it being a bunch of arrows pointing to the middle, especially like the way you enter, it's kind of pointing you to the middle. And then this is like the drop zone. It's good because it's almost like, I don't know, almost looks like God rays coming down from above to say, here is where the food will arrive, and all the arrows pointing to it. So I like that, but then I realized that it's not really great because I want to have seats and stuff in here because at the moment it looks like a factory. And in a way it is quite cool, but I do want actual seats and I don't know, maybe I could do booths or something around here. And the way the floor is, you know, if I start adding in like tables and that, it might like cover up half the pattern. Okay, I probably won't use oak wood because that looks a little bit weird, but you can kind of see what I mean. So I'd like to maybe incorporate the flooring in a little bit more, but I can't build too much in here because I always want you to be able to stand here and just look around and see the food flying around. So the flooring is almost definitely going to change, but I'm going to try and keep it with the style of all of the arrows pointing to the middle. I think these bits are probably going to change, even though I do like them. But the other thing I did on the walls, so as you can see, the walls are mainly just purple. Simple but effective. Like I was thinking about doing like other colors or even doing white or something, but the ceiling is going to be that color anyway. I was like, you know what? I got my color scheme. I got my 2 colors. Let's just stick with it and commit to it on the inside as well. And then I added like arrows, like basically showing the route that the food will go. It's a little bit hard to kind of see the yellow through the ice. Actually, it's okay. You can see it through the ice. You can see it fine. What am I on about? So yeah, you can see kind of where the food will go around and it will eventually come to here. So as this is at the moment, this food I think would land about here rather than in the middle of the room. But what I can easily do is go and just add like a bit of ice out there, which will be fine. And just one bit of ice will help it go way, way, way further. So I'll be able to work it out so it lands in the middle. So the flooring is going to change, but I like it. So I wanted you to see it. So this way, this design won't be lost for forever. So whatever this changes into is going to be different. But yeah, you'll know what it could have been like. Okay then, I think, fingers crossed, we might be just about done. So here we go. This is possibly the final design of the fast food restaurant. It's kind of enormous. I didn't really realize so much as I was building it. I mean, if you compare, like, this is the flying fish restaurant down here, the size it ended up being, and then this monster in the background over here is the fast food restaurant. So outside is pretty much the same as you saw it last time. I got a door and a sign now. Of course, I need a door and a sign. And this is what the inside is like. So it ended up actually not changing too much the floor design from what it was before. I had got rid of the lines and ended up adding them back in, which was good. This is the design for the tables. I had to really struggle to get something that fits in, but you know, you get to like some restaurants. What's it? Or like, I think it's like Wagamama's is one that you might have been to, where like they have just like a giant bench that everyone eats on, like, and actually some fast food places have them as well. You know, we have like a big bench and like everyone's looking out the window. So I've kind of gone for that design. So everyone would just be eating all of their fast food on like these 3 giant tables that are in all of the corners. This is where the middle is going to be. I kind of made it more of a target. This is the same, I believe. So all of that is pretty much as it was. I extended out here a little bit just to make sure that the food does actually land where we want it to land. And as you can see, it would end up here. I press the button and boo! Perfect. Look at that! Could not have been better. And let's do it like as if it went right up against the wall down there. So this is more likely where it's going to... Oh, whoopsies. Let's get it. Nope, little bit across. because it, like, it will fly and smash into the wall just because it hasn't got as far to go on that bit. So let's push the button and a little bit to one side. As long as it's in the purple, I'm going to take that as a victory. So that's good that I got that worked out now, so I won't be struggling with that in the video. So I think I'm pretty much done. I don't know what the torches situation is going to be, because it's quite tricky, because I can't melt the ice. So I'm hoping it's going to be safe enough just to use the lights. It definitely lights it up enough. It's just whether we're going to get like googly spawning like underneath these areas, or it's kind of like the areas down like here, which is the most dark. So maybe I could add lights just in those areas if I need to. But that is something that I can worry about in the episode itself. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with this. I know this isn't going to be one of my favorite things, but an important thing with my lovely world is like everything I build, like it doesn't need to be like the best thing ever. It's all about just doing different things in different styles and, you know, different mechanisms like this. And I am happy that I'm going to be building something like this. It's very different to what I've done before. I just know from the outset it's not going to be one of my favorite things. It's quite simple, I guess, in the fact that the way that the colors are. But what I am happy with is the way that it looks. You know, I think it is definitely going to stand out, if nothing else, from its sheer size, I guess. And yeah, I'm also happy with how the redstone fits in. I think the fact that this entire thing, like when you walk in, you're not even going to really realize that the walls are like thicker than they are. But I'm going to be able to have all of the redstone to make a relatively complicated, you know, system happen. That is something that I am also very happy with. And it sets up the special episode, the cinematic episode that I mentioned earlier that I'm going to have in my lovely world. It's going to be the perfect thing to kind of have a break from building this in the middle of that. So if you haven't seen that, definitely keep an eye out for that episode as well, because I'm going to be recording that soon. But sadly, seeing as I've pretty much finished building it, that is going to be the end of this episode here. Keep an eye out for any changes that might happen in between this video and when I actually build it in my lovely world. Or maybe you watch my lovely world video first and maybe you have been noticing any differences that might or might not come about while I've been building this thing. But yeah, there should be hopefully more behind the scenes videos coming up at some point in the future. So yeah, there'll be a link to the playlist down below if you want to go and see any more of these behind the scenes. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!